Why do we tell stories? To get something across that we otherwise couldn't? For the pleasure of distracting others from the mundanity of their everyday lives? It's stories like the one I'm about to tell you that force me to reconsider my conception of morality. Storytelling being a medium I once found innately positive. Putting the search for truth aside, stories have the capability to be ugly. I would classify the story you're about to hear as exactly that. Including my own, every name in this story has been changed for privacy and security. I'm Jack Matthews, and this is Duper. On February 18th, 2015, at 9:45 a.m., while I was sitting in my pathetic living room in downtown Toronto, I got a call from my father, Edwin Matthews. I hadn't heard from him in over a year, so I decided to record the conversation.
Hi, Jack. How are you?
Yeah, good. What's up?
I just thought I'd give my son a call, you know?
Okay, well, I'm actually pretty busy here, so I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Hold on. Listen,
I knew it.
there's something I heard about. It's pretty big. Have you heard anything in the news about Swastika recently?
You mean the town?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a strike, I think, at Swastika Laboratories.
All right. Listen to me carefully, son. Something's going down there. Something I shouldn't even be saying out loud. Go and check it out. Understand?
Yeah, alright, Dad, thanks. My father's a retired journalist, living up in Espanola with my mother, Alicia. They've been divorced for 15 years, but still live together. For my father to call me up the way he did, there was something going on, something huge.
Swastika actually has a history of some really messed up stuff.
That's our producer, Simon Jefferson. He's from Swastika, which made him a valuable addition to our team.
I just had to get out. Like, as soon as I could, I left that place.
Why? I mean, what was so terrible about living there?
In school, you'd have to do those practice lockdowns and, fire drills a couple times a year.
Sure.
But, how many times did you actually, for real have one of those events?
Never.
Well, at our school, we went into lockdown mode and we kept track, 17 times. The school was evacuated 74 times.
So, 91 incidents?
Yeah.
What were the reasons?
Oh, everything, terrorists, rats, cultists, fires, toxic waste spillage, bomb threats, bombs, plague, mold, floods, bears even.
Bears?
Yeah, a whole family just wandered in one time. They even mauled a kid.
Who knew the quiet town of Swastika had been under the universe's siege, bombarded by bad luck? On February 23rd, I rented a car and drove to Swastika, Ontario. I had to see this town for myself. I was standing on the main road of Swastika. To my left was a serene courtyard, and to my right, some quaint little shops. I was greeted by a gentle-looking man. He had a baseball cap on and a slightly graying brown beard. He approached me with charming authority.
Hey there, buddy. Welcome to Swastika.
Thanks. Are you a local here?
Yeah, born and raised, man. Name's Rick. Rick Gett. What brings you here?
Well, I'm a journalist doing a piece on your town. Would you mind if I recorded our conversation? Rick? Rick? The ambulance picked him up a few minutes later. Apparently, Rick was known for going into short-term comas mid-conversation. I decided to walk through town and look for the Swastika laboratories. Up in the sky was a blimp. I was impressed as I had forgotten their existence. I learned from the locals that the town was a hub of manufactured goods in Ontario.
Oh yeah, all sorts of things. Clothing, appliances, jewelry, fake dog shit, real dog.
That's Dorothy talking.
Wow. So, okay, can you point me in the direction of Swastika Laboratories?
Sure can. Had a feeling you were headed there.
Really?
Well, with the recent fire, I just figured.
The fire?
On February 21st, at 6:45 p.m., 2 days before I arrived in Swastika, a fire erupted in the house of striker John Ginger, killing his girlfriend Sandy and completely destroying his home. I decided to find John and talk to him. He was at his parents' house, short drive outside town. The house had a lawn filled with candy-colored birds. The inside of the house was not nearly as cheerful as the outside. Charred metal was lying all over, remnants of his former life.
So, what do you want to know?
John began to explain what happened. He claims he was at the factory, picketing. His girlfriend Sandy was sick in bed that day, so John went home around 4:30 to check in on her.
Our stove hadn't been working and she wanted some hot tea. So I started a small fire in the living room, made the tea, kissed her on the head and went on my way. And I suppose somewhere along the way I forgot to put out the fire. I forgot to put the fire out. I forgot to put the fire out. Oh, I forgot to put the fire out.
It makes you reflect on the consequences of our actions. In John's case, it was life or death.
His negligence is what killed her.
That's Simon again.
What he did was no different from taking a match and lighting her on fire himself.
I thought I would examine John's negligence. I called one of the few people who had been there to experience the fire firsthand.
It was a terrible one. The flames were 40, 30, 35, 40 feet off the ground.
This is Stan, a member of Swastika's volunteer fire department. Him and his fellow firefighters were the only ones to witness the fire as it happened.
Yeah. It was a weird fire, too.
Weird? Weird how?
Well, I've seen a lot of fires. This one wasn't just a regular old living room sitting on a couch fire. This was the lightning fire.
Duper is brought to you by Communism, a sleek new way to demonstrate your intellect as well as your radical personality. Enter coupon code DUPER to communistdream.net and get 20% off your official communist money clip. Duper is written and directed by Luke Mandel and produced by Adam Bovoletis, Tim Blair, and Simon Jefferson, with music by Sergei Lev Kaufman. We'd also like to thank Sidetracked Show for making this podcast possible. And lastly, a big personal thank you to our editor, Daniel King. Next time on Duper.
The Green Fire's become a legend among this town. I absolutely did not see a green fire on September the 7th, 1989.
You are attempting to call MCC, Provincial Penitentiary. Please hold.
Huh?